Oh, I've been looking forward to this. Netflix's The Witcher, one of, if not the most hyped up show of the year, for me at least anyway. A dark, monster-infested fantasy world that is finally here upon our TV screens. Now, I for one am very familiar with this world. I've read all the books, but it was the games originally that piqued my interest, and it's a safe bet to say without The Witcher 3, there probably wouldn't be this Netflix series. CD Projekt Red's masterpiece brought millions of eyes around the world towards the source material, and as we've heard countless times already, this series will be based from the books. And all the books are done, so no need to worry about the final season being a massive disappointment. Hint hint to another similar fantasy show. Now, it's been quite a while since this show was first announced, way back when in 2017. Initially after, how can I put this, a dreadful screen testing, yes, that one. Slowly but surely the show has been looking better and better with each new trailer and teaser, and I am incredibly happy to report that the first season of The Witcher is fucking awesome. It's won me over, it has. I was sceptical in the beginning, and I will talk about why a little later on, but seeing the books I've read and the games I've played, having that world gravitate onto TV and succeed is ever so pleasing to see. Now, the first season was always going to be the most difficult to adapt. Why? Well, The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, the first two Witcher books, are essentially short stories, and the main plot only starts properly with the third book, Blood of Elves. You can't exactly do that in a TV show. Now, it's not page for page identical to the books either. There are always going to be changes, but the showrunner Lauren Hissrich brings her own vision to the source material and melds it into this first season. Does it have its problems? Yeah, it does. Does it add material that is completely new into this series altogether? Also yes, but both are understandable. Firstly, some may be a little confused with the timeline through various episodes. Queen Calanthe obviously died in the premiere, but flashbacks to her in Sintra with a younger Princess Cyrilla, with the awesome Musak Alad, are a continued presence throughout. The betrothal with Pavetta and the Law of Surprise, that's one of the main short stories set before the sacking of Sintra. Yes, it could have been a little more clear in terms of when these events occurred, but without time jumping decades or years into the future, flashbacks like that are inevitable, just perhaps a little more clarity was required. Now, I'll get to the main man himself in a moment, but completely new material added here revolved mostly around our main sorceress. Yennefer of Vengerberg, a cunningly powerful woman, had a greatly expanded backstory. Now, sorceresses mask their true appearance, all of them do, but we delved much deeper than ever expected into Yennefer's past. Her magical potential was off the charts, and Anya Chalotra is a brave woman for taking on this hotly debated role. What do you make of her? I'll be frank, I was definitely unsure when the casting was first announced. I was for more than a few characters. Some proved everybody wrong, and some are still a little wavering. In regards to Yen though, she did very well. Congratulations to her, and a smaller, lesser known actress taking a role like this tends to be better in the long run. Look at Game of Thrones, comparisons will always be drawn, but did many of you know more than 20 or 30% of the original cast aside from a few of them? I doubt it, so going ahead with lesser names is a smarter way of going when creating original content. One chap I'm sure everybody knows though is our famed Geralt of Rivia himself. Oh Henry, you are sublime. Another one who I was sceptical on in the beginning, Henry Cavill embodies everything about our main character. The one thing I didn't think he could do or get right was the voice. Doug Cockle is the voice of Geralt to me, but somehow Henry manages to create a voice so similar when hearing it in the show. He admits to taking inspiration from the games, and I love that in an actor of his calibre. Henry is a massive nerd, and I'm all for it. Right from the get-go with that opening fight with the Kikimor, he just kicks some serious monster ass. His dry humour is so on point, it's crazy. His fuck is so on point to where you think it, he then says it. Just all his mannerisms are exactly like Geralt's should be. His sword fighting skills too, yes, that's all him, are incredible, and he manages to deliver a performance that should have nobody doubting his role in this series as it moves forward. What monsters did we get though? Necrophages, Kikimors, a Sylvan, a Striga, more, plus I got far more than I bargained for, as episode 6 even followed a short story that I didn't think the showrunners would have the stones to do. They did the villain Trettenmirth, a dragon, basically. I never expected them to do it purely because of the CGI involved. That shit must be expensive. I mean, it's no Game of Thrones level dragons, but it looked damn good for what it was. Come on, it's season 1. Remember, Game of Thrones' first season skipped major battle scenes because of the budget, so Netflix must have invested a pretty penny into the special effects here, even if it isn't fully fledged yet. However, no monsters compare though to the one scene I was looking forward to the most. Geralts and the Striga. Oh, it was absolutely stupendous. The atmosphere, the dark, dimly lit corridors of the deserted castle remains, and having a monster and monster hunter go at it delivered a brutally spectacular showdown. That was probably my favourite scene from this first season, purely because of my anticipation for it. Plus those artifacts, oh, so good. But rivaling it was the lesser evil as Geralt faced off against Renfri and her men. How amazing was that fight scene to end the premiere? Well, I say a fight scene, it was basically Geralt schooling a bunch of thugs and vagabonds. Renfri took some beating but fair play to the choreographed sequences because it really was amazing. A truly memorable way to end that first episode, and with Geralt being shunned away by the townsfolk and the girl who he helped, plus Stregobor, fuck him, it was a true view into this harsh world that is the continent. Help people most of the time, you still get fucked over. Now, to conclude at least with the third of our 3 main characters is the child of Surprise herself, Ciri. Princess Cirilla, schooled by her grandmother Calanthe, was the heir to Sintra and would eventually, one day, rule herself. Nilfgaard, the invading force to the continent, had other ideas though. Wiping out all the lands that lay before it, the swarm of Emir's Nilfgaard, along with their less than ideal armour design, let's put it that way, will not be stopped by anything in their path. They want Sintra, they will take it, and Cahir, an officer of their army, was determined to get his hands on the young princess. I will say no more on Cahir for now, apart from I like the casting with the evil-ish looking face and all, but for non-book readers expect plenty more to come from this important character in the future. Now with Ciri, she was actually the only lead I was pleased with overall back when the main 3 cast members were first announced. Freya Allan just looks right for the role, and with the age for Ciri in the books, she can grow up alongside her counterpart. She was very good in all of her scenes, plenty of tears shed unfortunately, but maybe it'll get a little easier for her now, since she found her destiny at the very end of the first season. What are your bets on that though?
People linked by destiny will always find each other.
My overall verdict for the first season of Netflix's The Witcher is a strong 8 out of 10. A fantastic foundation for this series to work with. Now that the hardest adaptation of the first 2 books is out of the way, expect a much more coherent and straightforward story as the series moves forward. God, I hope the numbers roll in for this show. It's one of my favourite IPs, and after Game of Thrones' atrocious last season, fantasy fans will be aching for something new to fill their boots. It helps, I suppose, to have such a rampant and loyal fanbase. People can get a bit crazy, of course, but I love the Witcher community. Praise Geraldo and praise Henry for advertising the heck out of this show so far. Fair play to Netflix too, you've given it plenty more trailers and teasers than I ever thought you would, and I truly hope this series gets to completely fill out its source material with the books already complete. Hopefully we have no hitches down the road, so we get a quality 6 to 8 seasons, however many they decide to do. The swordplay was stupendous and amazingly well executed. Special effects, especially with the monsters, stunning, strikingly beautiful scenery, and overall it far exceeded my hope and expectations. Now, like I said, there were a few hitches. Upset about a short story being skipped or left out? Me too, but let's be real, where some short stories are simplified or omitted altogether, Philavandrels for example, there's only 8 hours to work with, so it was always going to happen. No excuses for the Nilfgaard armour though. God, please let that be a prototype and starting armour that their army improves very, very quickly. A bizarre choice like that. I guess they wanted a totally different look, but the ballsack armour, as many know it by, really needs some serious work, and it needs more gold, goddammit. Please make this better. Please, and pronto. King Foltest's interpretation too felt a little off for me, and I'm not yet convinced with the casting for a couple of other characters. Mainly Triss. Anna Schaefer, she didn't get an extreme amount of screen time, but I don't know, I just need to see more of her. Judgment is reserved for now, and the same goes for Fringilla, whose casting isn't bad, even if it is completely different from the book description. My problem with her is that she just seemed a little too overpowered. One Nilfgaard sorceress going up against her tutor and fellow sorceresses, she just beat the crap out of most of them. Throwing Dimeritium on Tissaia, one of the surprisingly standout characters this year, was a cheap shot like. Dimeritium, for those who don't know, suppresses magical power, practically rendering magic wielders useless. Yeah, she just seemed a little too strong for me, but acting-wise, she was fine. How can I complain too much though when we actually saw the Battle of Sodden? Never thought I would get to see it in truth, all those mages on the hill fighting to defend the border against Nilfgaard. What a surprise we had with that. No, it wasn't all-out warfare, and the action we got was cut away from on a few occasions as things got heated, but it's far better than nothing at all or it being skipped over. And how many of the mages actually survived that massacre? It was only because of Yennefer unleashing her unlimited power on the Nilfgaardian forces that they managed to repel them back. Vilgefortz vs Cahir though was a short and unexpected treat, and I am actually really down for the actor playing Vilgefortz. That name just sounds so charming and nice, doesn't it? Mahesh Jadoo, mark my words, I'll eat them if I'm wrong, but I expect he will become a vitally good casting choice later on in this series. Adam Levy as Musak too was a genius choice. He really was a good character who had plenty of screen time, but I will admit I did not like the fact that they have seemingly killed him off already. The whole Doppler thing was not in the books, and I didn't really like that part myself either, but I'm holding out hope that he is a druid and somehow managed to survive that stabbing. A fool's hope most likely, because he is probably dead, but I sure am hoping he survived. And you didn't think I'd forget about Jaskier, did you? Dandelion, as many of you know him by, Jaskier the Bard is so delightfully annoying, it's amazing. Exactly as he should be. He's annoyingly funny and charming, plus he sure can sing. Some of those songs are mega addicting, especially Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. I really enjoy that one. Joey Beatty is an inspired casting choice, and Jaskier's involvement brought even more humour out of our main Witcher. Oh Jaskier, you make me want to hit you and laugh at the same time. Best episode, mine, was number 3, purely for the fact that the Striga tale is my favourite, and it gave off an eerie horror tone. Hunting monsters ain't easy, and in that castle after the Striga had already bested one Witcher, and he had to survive a night, yeah, it added ample amounts of tension and suspense. I really like the premiere too in truth, but episode 3 takes the mantle this year. How about you? Which was your favourite episode? Now, much like the episode count, I've already told you my favourite scenes were from them two as well, with the battle against the Striga and the fight with Renfri, but what else was a standout? Well, the opening for starters, starting off with the Kikimor was a bold move and it paid off. Him fighting a horde of necrophages in the finale was another monster delight we got to feast our eyes on, and I enjoyed the Pavetta and Dooney betrothal, even if it was shortened. It showed that Geralt wouldn't sit idly by, even if it meant risking his own life. Devoid of emotions? No, not this Witcher, anyway. Speaking of Witchers, Who will play our wise old Vesemir? And what about Lambert or Eskel? I just want to see the Witcher Fortress itself, and with an early renewal, that should occur in Season 2, so we finally get to lay our eyes on Kaer Morhen in all its ruined glory. No Neneke either, by the way. Hopefully they introduce her character in Season 2, because she is an important one. As I've said, I think a more stable story and focus will cause this series to improve as it goes forward, but this was a hell of a way to start. Destiny pointed Geralt of Rivia towards the sorceress Yennefer and to him finding his young princess from Sintra, and together the three of them look to survive an increasingly hostile continent together or apart. It's not going to be the simplest of tasks, that's for certain. And with that, we are done. What do you all think of this first full season of The Witcher? I binged it all in one day. Not done that for years. Do I regret it? Oh hell no, I do not, and I would do it again given the choice. Let me know your favourite character from this first season, your favourite episode, and any other thoughts or feelings you have down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you on the next one.
Are you?
Fuck.